and Godfrey just
Woo!
recently spoke about his observations of seeing more black women with white men in ads, and was questioning where are all the black women with white women in ads? Like, why is it the same? So I have just a little bit of clip that I can share with you all about how he feels regarding this topic, which I think is very interesting. But here we go. I'm about to share my screen. And before I do anything else, I'm going to share my sounds.
Get out, y'all. I'm in the middle of black ass Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, okay? And I'm walking by, because the thing about me, the thing about comedians, just artists, we pay attention to everything. Look it. I just walked past this. Now, I know it's a nice little health, it's like, I guess, a health insurance thing. Fidelis Care. Yeah. But there's this white guy and this black woman, okay? There's been a lot of this. Even at my bank, they got a black woman with a white guy. It's a lot of black women with white guy shit. You know what I mean? It's what I noticed. But in black ass Brooklyn, all these black people are walking past this, and what are you trying to say? That it's better to get one of these? Get a white guy? And listen, and I don't want any of you interracial motherfuckers that are in an interracial relationship making these stupid ass comments like, what's wrong? Love is love. Like I said, love is love. Yeah. But don't lose your fucking who you are. And a lot of you tend to do that kind of shit. I have a problem with this. Now, first of all, where's the black dude with the white girl? First of all, we started that. Where's the black dude with the white girl? Where's that? No, because you know why? The people who run it look like him and don't want to see that. There should be black dudes with white girls. There's so many of them. But then you got the white dude with the black girl. So, there's probably some black women going, I need to get me one. Yup. I need to get me one. It's like this is security now.
Ooh. Now, I know a lot of people have.
I thought that was a very interesting point to look at it like security, you know. So what are your thoughts? Brooklynites, speak out.
Well, this topic is something that I talk about all the time because I was just telling my husband, I always tell him when I'm watching TV, I was like, I feel like every commercial is an interracial relationship. I feel like every show, when people are together, it's an interracial relationship. It's always black people with something else than black people. I don't see as much as other races with other races. I don't see them mixing in those shows or in those commercials as much as I see black people with something else in commercials. So it's like you basically telling black people subconsciously to get with somebody else. You know what I mean? And like when you're showing the family dynamic or you're showing any kind of anything, you're showing it with a black person with something else. I haven't seen black people on TV together in commercials or anything. I mean, before they didn't even put black people hardly in commercials. They made a black woman in a commercial with a whole bunch of white people with natural hair. With a black woman with natural hair, that was the one commercial. But with the cleaning products or the something or the whatever, the dental care, whatever. Now you see pure black women and white men, black women, white men, black men, white women, and interracial children. You hardly see black children on TV. If they black children, they interracial black children with that curly hair, it is so obvious and it's so annoying to me that I talk about it. So I wasn't surprised when he said this because it bothers me. I do feel like there's an agenda, and we all have mixed race people in our families, people who are interracial. I have that in my own very close family cycle. It's not about that, but it's about, okay, yeah, people do date outside their race or whatever, but I don't see you promoting people inside their race dating or being together. I only see you promoting other people. And then when it comes to what he said about white, like black women with white men, yeah, I do think there's a campaign because black men already go for white women, so they don't need to campaign for that. But they need to get Black women to go for something else, because Black women tend to stay and stick around and try to stay to, you know, a lot of Black women try to still be with Black men. You know, that whole concept of being with white men is something that's coming around. People thinking more about it and doing it, you know, doing it more, but they're definitely trying to push it more. And I think one of the reasons is too is like people are trying to survive. They are trying to mix with us. They are trying to mix with Black people, you know? And I just, you know, I believe it's like survival of the fittest. People want the gene pool that's been around the longest. People want to wash down our race, like how they did in Brazil and all those different places, you know, so we're ambiguous, you know, everyone just looks like you don't know what people are and all this stuff. And to people, that's some kind of good concept. I don't see how that's a good concept. You know, like, no, you know, everyone, yes, people have the right to choose and be in relationships and do whatever. But when you're targeting me to do something different, and when you're doing some kind of campaign and marketing, why is that your business? Like, what are you up to? You know what I mean? Like, what are you up to?
All great points, Caramel. All great points. S, what is your view on this? And then after you give your view before I respond, I'm going to tell you Godfrey had to make a response as well. But S, what do you think about what you heard so far? You're on mute, S.
My bad. Hello? Y'all can hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me? Okay. So my view is just like Caramel. Like, it's something that I've noticed a long time ago. And I always wish, it's one of the reasons why I actually even wanted to like speak in public. I'm like, damn, is anybody else noticing this shit? It's so crazy and it's so blatant. And for me, it's more than just black and white. It really is to me about what Godfrey said, which is black women with white men. Again, black men with white women, it's been a thing, right? It's been a thing, especially amongst certain athletes of that nature, right? But I think it's less about, oh, niggas don't want to see that. And I think it's more about kind of going back to the conversation we had last week about the potential of a man choosing to do something versus a woman choosing to do something, which is as a man, in the time that one woman is pregnant, can impregnate thousands of women, right? So if you get black men to stay on, and to me, they make a hard push to get black men off of white women, right? So this, to me, everybody thought when they watched Get Out, it was about, oh, being in the sunken place. But to me, it was a cautionary tale for your black ass to stay away from white women. That's what that movie was about for me. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, y'all. So because if all black men started doing that, I feel like at some point you're gonna basically infiltrate their race, because again, you could get a woman pregnant, and within that one woman being pregnant, you could impregnate, oh my God, thousands. So it's very dangerous for them to promote that, but they want to promote white men with black women for the same reason, so they can infiltrate our shit and water down our shit. If it's the other way around, you basically turning the whole race a whole different way. So that's one thing. And you know, when it comes to what Godfrey's talking about as far as what's going on, I don't know how to explain it, but that's how it was something else I wanted to say, but I'm losing my train of thought because I'm so passionate about this particular topic, like I'm really, really hoping that. Oh, I wanted to talk. Right, and another thing that they doing. All right, so then you have to get out, right? Then you watch a show like The Last OG, and in The Last OG, you got Tracy Morgan, who was the perpetual just just slum nigga. Let's keep it a stack. He's the cautionary tale of what you don't want to be as a black man. Just just doofy and arrogant and immature and all that shit, right? And he goes to jail and he comes home and his black chick, his girl that was hiding his drugs and living in a dumbass little ass apartment, she's now married to this white dude and they living in basically Park Slope or whatever the fuck neighborhood it is, and it's such an upscale and the kids love the, and it's just so blatant and obvious the message that they trying to run. And I just wish everybody saw this shit for what it is. Like it's not about interracial love. It's about the annihilation of a particular race. And I think if you get enough white men on it and enough black women on it, it's easy. Because we saw with Drake, light skin like that, mixed with a white woman, and he could put as many do-rags as he want to on that kid's head. And that's not a black kid. You know what I'm saying? That's not a black kid. So if you integrate the race and make it to where it's a bunch of Drakes and Steph Currys, and then you mix it with everybody else, you probably not going to get black. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get black. You're going to get there's something in there, but you're not going to get black. But how you feel about it?
Oh, awesome. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell you how I feel, but I want to return real quickly to Godfrey's response, because apparently after he did this, he got a really big backlash. So let's just listen to that for like 30 seconds.
Boy Godfrey, and you guys know the latest video that I made is a little bit controversial right now. I think this is where shit got mixed up. Some of you all, a lot of people got what I was saying, which I'm very happy about. But there was a group of people that didn't like what I said and thought that I was condoning, hey, we need to have some black men date more white women. I did not mean that shit at all. That part, maybe I said it wrong, but I was not like, hey, black men you should be with white women. Hell no, I am about black love for real shit. Now I tried to make a point. The point of that was black love, dismantling of black manhood. That's what the whole video was about. So if some of you misinterpreted it, I'm sorry that you did, but thank you for the people who did get what I was talking about. I got a lot of support from black women, and they were like, yo, we got it. But then there was a few that came at me in the responses, and they were name calling me. And I went to their DMs and I started name calling them back because I didn't want to call them names in front of people. I went to their DMs. And then when I looked at it, some of them like were calling me out saying, you call me names, but I got screenshots of people calling me names first. But then when I looked back at everything, I said, you know what? That was immature of me to even lower myself to start name calling, because I was getting name called first also. So I looked back and I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a video explaining the video even more, clarifying it. Also, I want to apologize to the women that I called names. Ooh.
You
I
on
can't
mute.
hear you.
You're on mute.
Sorry. I said, yeah, as you can see, it got a little crazy, but I'm just glad Godfrey was able to bring it back and try to further reiterate what he means. I mean, yeah, you see it all the time. I see a lot of ads with mixed races, not only black and white, but also other kinds, but specifically black and white. Um, a lot of white and Spanish as well. I've seen. I think when it comes down to it, like you were saying earlier, Caramel, they know that their time is limited and they're trying to breed, and they're going to, I guess you can say, cultures or races that they feel have strong genes, are able to withstand their genes, uh, and go from there. But I think the way that society is now, it makes for a very interesting dynamic when it comes to that, because you look at the desperation that people are going to now for lengths of money, or just being able to economically suffice to be able to afford their way of living. I don't see it being past a black woman's mindset to get with a white man so that she can have some kind of financial security in the future. So that's like one thing she doesn't have to worry about, or she doesn't have to work as hard as if she was a single black woman. So, I feel that even with them pushing this narrative the way that they are, because of the society and the way that the world is kind of like cornering you, right? Because there used to be a middle class, but as we keep going on, the middle class keeps getting further faded out. So it's either you rich or you're poor, right? Or becoming more of that. Um, I believe, yeah, with these subtle instances, it's gonna make it easier for black women to wanna date white men, especially if these white men are financially secure and are willing to guarantee that they secure these women. And of course, that's going to come with an agreement that they breed for them. So it's like one hand washes the other. So that's the one thing I could kind of see coming out of this whole madness.
Yeah. Are you still talking?
Nope, I'm done.
Oh, and the other thing I wanted to say is, when I think about how that's historically how it was mostly black men that were really dating outside of their race, you know, and basically a lot of people would tell black women, because you didn't do this, or white women do this, or this kind of woman does this, or this Latina woman does this, or this, whatever you're not doing. There also comes a point, this is where you have to be afraid of, when you continuously tell somebody that they're not doing something right, or you are the reason why we're not with you, or you are whatever, then you allow an opening for someone else to come in and say, oh, you everything we want. You know what I'm saying? You doing everything right, and so you end up also coming from a situation where you may feel mostly rejected or told that you're wrong or you're not doing something right. That's why you don't have a black man. And then other people are coming in and saying, oh, there's nothing wrong with you and we want you. So you have to be careful, because for a long time, I think a lot of the culture really knew that black women, even though they were marrying black men, or black men didn't want to marry, or these relationships, things were happening, they never worried about black women going to other races, really, because black women were kind of like, other races, nah, I'm just really with my black men. I mean, you did have your few, but that was, I would say, a lot of the general, most people. But as time goes on, as people feel as though, as people like Kevin Samuels, who's telling you, oh, that white woman is gonna get that man, or you not a 9, you not a 10, because you just wait and you just whatever and all this stuff, oh, you too strong-minded, oh, you too educated, oh, you too whatever. And then this white man's gonna come in and say, oh, I love that you're educated. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I love the strong personality, whatever, whatever. Oh, and make you feel as though and talk to you as though, you know, there's nothing wrong with you. Whereas on the other hand, people a lot of times telling you that the reason why you don't have somebody is because there's something wrong with you. So you have to be careful. Like when you're dealing with a situation when you're you know, I think for men I think for a lot of black men, it's a trigger because I know black men who date outside, but then when they see a black woman with a white man or someone else, they are upset about it. And I never understood that because I'm like, but you date outside, you know, what is this thing? But then it's like, no, that's our women. That's the birth of our nation. Our black women. It's like, okay, but you spitting your seed up in other people. So what's the problem? This is the problem. So I'm saying when you hold on, I'm just saying sometimes when you continuously tell people or you should be that this is the reason why I'm not with you because you to this and you to that. Other people will use those things and find ways in. You know what I mean? It's just like anything, you know.
You know what? At the end of the day, you can't sit here and act like Keisha is getting picked up. Creisha is not getting picked up. The woman who is 30, 40 pounds overweight is not getting picked up by the white man. They getting the best of the best, the same way they've been getting, the same way they did Jackie
but
Robinson.
That's not necessarily.
That's what also white women and Asian women are getting, and other women are getting. They're getting the best of the best. That was always black. A lot of black women. Of course, I'm just
getting the college. But I'm just saying, this is all about the same thing it always been about. And then when you say shit like, well, you gotta be careful, like don't let don't let a few athletes and a few
I'm not talking about a few athletes. I'm talking about people in my own family. As you know, that's not true. You know that's not. I'm talking about the. I'm telling you, because especially where I work, 34th Street, you have all these men who will be locked down, who will be, you know, corporate this, whatever, this, that, and you will see Becky, okay, coming through the door. Okay. And they'll tell you things like when you ask them questions like, okay, I wasn't expecting you with Becky, you know, and they're like, oh, you know what, black girls don't like me. You know, everybody got that whole thing. You know, the whole, and I'm always surprised.
Why that part is not being examined.
But it's bull.
I've heard that from my own best friends that black women are rejecting them because they too dark or they this and that.
Those sound like some childhood issues.
It's always going to be childhood issues,
right? But you know, like, when's the point that you get over them? You know what I'm saying? Because there are enough women out here. Again, this leads back to. I'm sorry, Caramel. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay.
I just want to make this point. You know, like we led back to another. I don't know if it was in our past episode, but I think it was. There were like damn near 20 something women to how many men? Right? They have the choice. Okay, I'm pretty sure if 4 of them like light skinned people went out. No offense to myself, you know what I'm saying. I'm sitting here looking at myself as a light bright, but
light skinned people ain't go nowhere. They still the preference.
I mean, but everybody is a preference, and not everybody prefers light skin.
Oh, not dark skinned women are not the preference. As far as popularity goes,
listen,
you hear it in every song.
Okay, hold on a second. Excuse me, calm down. All right, you know this is what I'm saying though.
What you mean calm down? What you mean calm down? Like I'm out of line. What you mean calm down?
No, I don't mean calm down in that way. I'm saying let's just listen all to each other because I didn't finish my point. What I'm saying to you is that everybody has a preference. Not everybody prefers light. There are some people that do prefer brown and chocolate women. The same way you have some people that prefer thick women, how you have some people that prefer smaller. Now, the light and the dark skin issue, that goes all the way back to like slavery time. All right. Shout out to Juneteenth. That's going to be happening in 2 days. Right. But at the same time, those are issues that we still have to be able to move past, and we have to a certain extent. It's only those that keep those ignorant mindsets, or those that just particularly that genuinely have a preference. What do you do if somebody genuinely prefers somebody that is light skinned? What do you do if you have somebody who genuinely prefers somebody that's dark skinned? Because me personally, I prefer darker hues. I'm always the lighter one, even amongst my female friends. You see what I'm saying? So to me, it's all really about your mindset, you know, and what you think is beautiful, and if people are willing to open that up, right? If we're gonna go past the conversation of black women being with white men and vice versa, but that's initially what we were talking about. So it's like, I don't know, but I'm done. Go ahead. What you was trying to tell me? I'm listening.
Nah, go ahead. I'm done because at the end of the day, we could talk about surface stuff. We could talk about oh, this is we could act like this is our doing, and this is where I feel like nah, you caramel, you got a point and all that, but if you think this is all our construct, this is all our doing, this is women versus men, and women finally saying, oh no, like it's bigger
Not
than
what I'm
that.
saying.
Because even if women
I'm not saying
were
that.
feeling like that, it's still on the TV, it's still in the movies, it's
It
still
is.
pushed. And it's not being pushed by, I don't think it's black women in the boardroom pushing it. I think it's somebody else pushing it. So if you want to go with the surface point of us versus us with it, then
No, I'm not
I could.
going with the surface point. What I said was people are promoting against black families, right? Against black relationships. So what I'm saying is if you see people marketing, a lot of times people are marketing in an area where they think that they can have a cut of it. You usually don't market something that you don't think you can get into. It doesn't make any sense. So what I'm saying is we have to be careful. You know, in the past, if you cut a market because you're looking at black women and you're hearing people say this and you're seeing certain things go on in the community, and we all are a part of that, right? We're a part of that. For me, you wouldn't have to worry about me going to a white man or whatever the question may be. They can't corner my market, right? I'm already taken by a black man. I've always been with black men and whatever. But I'm saying that for a lot of women, hearing and having these relationships or these different experiences where they're unmarried, they're black women, they're educated, and all these things are considered not something that people look to want to have a lot of times. You know, they consider them loud, overbearing, different things. You know what I'm saying? If those people are gonna look to see where can I get in, you know what I'm saying? Who haven't we been able to target and get into so that we can really take this over? They're going to target what they think is a place where they can get in. That's what I'm really saying. So I'm saying that's how we have to be careful. That's all I'm saying about the way we interact with each other and the things we say to each other and the things that we put out there as narratives. Because if you say that and you do that, then other people are watching saying, okay, how do I market to get to these black women? How do I get to these black women now? How do I get them to be interested in white men? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I was saying. I wasn't saying like, oh, it's black men's fault that what. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that sometimes when a narrative is continuously happening, people are looking to cut into it and get into it and find a way to, what's the way to exploit it? That's what I wanted to mean, to exploit certain things. Huh?
I agree with that. And I think that people like Kevin Samuels make it easy for them to be able to exploit things like that, because then you have a whole bunch of black men that agrees with him that black women should be this size. They should be submissive. They should, I mean, even if you do have an education, act docile, or, um, like you have less, like, less than. So because there are those other narratives out there fighting against it, I think, because I think, like as Falami's comment came off of mine, which is that, there are going to be a group of black women, unfortunately, that feel cornered economically and are going to give into what those conditionings are that they see on ads, because they don't really see any other way, right? Those could be single Black women that are educated, single Black women that are young, still in college, single Black women that just got out of college. They don't have kids. So HRA is not an option for them. They can't get SNAP benefits. You see what I'm saying? So with that kind of conditioning going around, and you're seeing that, right? The same way as young girls, we grew up having the condition that we need to serve men, and until they change the narrative that you can, that you can still work and have a family too. Those conditionings are out there where some that might be tired of dating Black men or getting the same result might be like, you know what? I watch a lot of Modern Family. They funny. Who knows? I could meet a white guy that's funny and knock me off my feet. And if he financially takes care of me, what's wrong with that? I could be the next TD Bank ad. What's wrong with that if they got a house? You see what I'm saying? And I'm living in the projects. So I'm just, providing that twist on it. And then Caramel was coming through with, why that conversation could be skewed that way by Black women. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but I'm just trying to make sense of it. And keep in mind, we are in a retrograde, and that is our final conversation. So communication and understanding right now in the month of Gemini as well, which rules communication, is at an all-time, literally, okay? And people, we talk passionately here, but it's all love between us. We've known each other for at least the past 18 years. We ain't gonna give our age, so we ain't gonna go past that. We older than 18. That's all you need to know. But we still speaking all love. It's all brother, sister here.
Oh, of course. Of course.
No, I just have to let the people know that because S is so passionate.
This is something that.
No, I totally agree.
No, it's and I'm glad that you're passionate about it. We can definitely continue having more conversations about it.
Yeah, it's a deep conversation because again, this is somebody used an analogy one time. They said, you go. I forgot. I think Chris Rock used it. I'm not even sure of the comedy shows, but basically saying like these cars are coming over the hill and then they crashing off of the cliff, and when you get down there, it's just a whole bunch of cars piled on each other, people dying. It's a fucked up situation, and everybody's just like, yo, this is fucked up. The cars is just coming off the cliff, and nobody's going further back to find out why the cars are falling off the cliff. If there's an oil spill, if there's something else, and I just feel like, yeah, we could get to what we're gonna get to as far as this, but now the question is, because they've been saying this for years, that basically our women have been geared to go away from us for a long time. So, all of this could Kevin Samuels, because he's not the only one, but there's a lot of people who have opinions about Black women, including other Black women. And the narrative is that Black women don't want to hear none of this shit. And Kevin Samuels could be an asshole, but because he probably not even digging further back. But the question at some point got to go to, well, why is it like that? Why is there this disconnect? And who caused it? And why would they cause it? And until we start going further back to the genesis of our problem, we only going to be talking about the symptoms. And to me, that's cool. We could talk about the symptoms, but at some point, we got to get to the root. You know what I mean?
No,
but
you have to get to the root.
A longer show, or
yeah,
something.
I mean, like it's systematic. It's it's the wipeout. It's the trying to wipe out the get into the black race. It reminds me of what they did in Brazil and all these countries. Where it's just it's a promotion of Brazil had laws to have people mix. So that's why you have Brazil now. There were laws, so you would get certain things if you mix with Black people. You know, if you came from another country, you become a citizen right away. You'll get land, you'll get this. If you were to marry someone Black and mix with them, until we mixed and mixed and mixed and mixed, until you just have like these ambiguous looking people that you mostly see, you know, whatever. It's like it was purposeful. So you know that it's done purposefully. You know what I mean? So, you know, and we do have to go back and look at what's being done, what people are what is the root, like why would this be being promoted and being shown? Because we know that advertisements and all that do affect people and their thought process and their mindset. So you have to say, why are we being attacked on this level? You know what I'm saying? Why are we being targeted? You know what I mean? Why? What is trying to happen? What are people trying to do? What's trying to happen? You know, so I agree with that. You know, I'm not for it because I've been saying it for a long time. Like, and I have my people I love that are interracial couples. That's not the point. The point is don't target me. You know what I'm saying? Don't be targeting me. You know, don't be targeting us and trying to basically say, you know, you need to be with something else other than yourself. If I choose to be something else than myself because I choose it, that's one thing, but don't target me on it. You know? So.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I'm just at the point now where I feel that it's just a whole bunch of situations that can meet up. Economic versus education versus opportunity versus exposure, you know, versus people's short span, short mind span versus mental health. You know, those are a lot of things to take into account, especially when it comes into the Black community, because those are a lot of services and things that we're lacking or don't believe in or don't get enough of, or they're not necessarily accurate on, or people give us the best, or, you know, care regarding. And those all weigh into the decisions that people make regarding what we're talking about. So, I'm always for uh, Black relationships. You know, I'm not. I'm for mixed relationships too, if that's what people choose to do in their personal lives. However, I mean, I'm just at the point where it is what it is. I'm just hoping people are woke enough not to, you know, believe all the smoke, especially after George Floyd. I mean, you know, just stay woke.
Well, that's to say, is that our last topic for tonight? Or
Nope, we actually got one more.
oh, okay. Shoot, the way we talk about this, you think we finished? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so this last story comes from Dirty Laundry Media. Apparently, a 29-year-old Asian by the name of Ryan Lee Win, excuse me, shot a 6-year-old boy by the name of Kobe Daniel because he left his bicycle in the front yard. First, initially, the young Asian man went after the 6-year-old with a sledgehammer. And because he was too quick and he got away, he then went in his house and retrieved a pistol, where he then shot from his window inside the house out towards the 6-year-old and shot him in the arm. He was arrested, but he was released on a $10,000 bond. And, the parent is outraged because, pretty much what he's saying is that that's the lowest bond you can get. And he's outraged because the 29-year-old pretty much attempted to kill his son. Now, I do have a little bit of footage. I could go into it. It's up to you guys. What do you want me to do?
Uh, I don't know. It's up to Caramel. I'm familiar with the story.
Oh, you're familiar with it, you said?
Yeah, if you ain't see it, probably. I mean, you might want to see it.
No, I'm good. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, S, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so just for I guess the audience, um, from what I know, there was an Asian man who shot the kid out the window for leaving his bike in there, in his yard, and I mean, I don't even know what else. As far as the actual individual story, obviously, it's completely fucked up. Like, I mean, the kid could have died. I mean, he shot him through the window. He's not a sniper. So the fact that he got hit in the arm and the bullet went through the arm and came out through the other side, um, is complete sheer luck. Like that is attempted murder. You know what I'm saying? And the $10,000 bond, that's egregious for an attempt.